Did you know that loneliness can be as harmful to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day? Shocking, right? And it's not just about feeling alone. Studies show that having strong relationships can actually add years to your life. But here's the catch. Most of us don't fully understand what makes our relationships work. In this video, we're diving into the fascinating world of social psychology, the science of how our relationships shape our happiness. From the chemistry of love to the power of vulnerability, you'll learn surprising facts that can change how you connect with others. Want to know why you feel so drawn to certain people, or why some relationships just click? Or maybe how to keep your bond strong even when life gets tough? We've got you covered. In the next chapters, you'll discover practical, science-backed strategies to improve your relationships. We'll show you how understanding love languages can make you a better partner, how embracing vulnerability can bring you closer to the ones you love, and why building happiness together is the secret to long-lasting love. Ready to unlock the psychology behind your relationships and find out how to make them healthier, happier, and more fulfilling? Let's dive in. Chapter 1. Unlocking the power of social bonds. What really drives us? Human beings are social creatures. From the moment we're born, we begin forming connections that shape who we are and how we experience life. In fact, research shows that social connection is so powerful it can impact our happiness, health, and even lifespan. According to a study published in the journal PLOS Medicine, people with strong social relationships have a 50% greater chance of survival than those with weaker connections. But what exactly drives us to form these bonds? It's not just about liking someone or enjoying their company. Social psychology tells us that human connections are deeply tied to our survival instincts. Our brains are wired to seek out relationships because they provide us with emotional support, safety, and a sense of belonging. In essence, social bonds are crucial to our overall well-being. You've probably heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Social connection sits high on that pyramid, just below love and esteem. People need to feel understood and supported. That's why you often feel happiest when surrounded by close friends or a loving partner. According to psychologist John Cacioppo, lack of social connection can trigger feelings of loneliness, which has been linked to increased risks of depression, anxiety, and even cardiovascular disease. But how can you harness the power of social bonds? The key is understanding what draws people together. One of the most important factors is empathy. By genuinely trying to understand another person's feelings and perspective, you deepen your connection and build trust. Studies show that empathic listening is one of the strongest predictors of relationship satisfaction. Another strategy for strengthening your social bonds is by fostering a sense of reciprocity. This means helping others and being willing to receive help in return. In relationships, whether romantic or platonic, a balance of give and take is essential. When we show kindness and support, we not only build trust, but we also create a positive feedback loop that strengthens the bond over time. Finally, it's important to spend quality time with others. According to research, spending just 20 minutes of uninterrupted time with a loved one can increase feelings of connection. In today's fast-paced world, carving out time for real, in-person interaction is a powerful way to nurture your relationships and boost your happiness. Chapter 2. The Chemistry of Love. Is it all in your head? When we talk about love, we often imagine romantic dates, passionate moments, and feelings of deep connection. But behind those emotions, there's a lot of science at work. In fact, love is not just a feeling. It's a complex cocktail of brain chemicals that trigger everything from the flutter of your heart to the thoughts racing through your mind. It starts with dopamine, the feel-good neurotransmitter that makes you feel on top of the world when you're in love. Dopamine is released during moments of excitement and pleasure, which explains why love can feel so exhilarating. But love isn't just about excitement, it's also about security. Enter oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone. It plays a significant role in deepening feelings of affection and trust. A unique fact. Did you know that the same hormone, oxytocin, is released during physical touch, like hugging or holding hands? In fact, research shows that just a 20-second hug can release oxytocin, making you feel more connected to your partner. So next time you need a boost in your relationship, try a hug. It's not just emotional, it's biological. Then there's serotonin, which helps regulate mood and plays a role in the obsessive thoughts often experienced in early love. In fact, a study by Dr. Lucy Brown at the Albert Einstein College of Medicine found that people in love show similar brain activity to individuals diagnosed with obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCD. So when you're thinking about someone non-stop, it's not all in your head, it's a biological response. But why do we get so attached? Researchers have found that the act of pair bonding is deeply ingrained in our DNA. The endorphins released in our brains during romantic interactions provide pain relief and feelings of euphoria. This chemical response is a way of ensuring that we bond and stay connected, leading to long-term partnership and happiness. Understanding the chemistry behind love can help us build stronger, healthier relationships. When you recognize that your emotions are influenced by chemical reactions in the brain, you can take more intentional steps to nurture love, whether it's through communication, physical affection, or shared experiences. Chapter 3: The Mirror Effect: How We Reflect Each Other's Emotions. Have you ever noticed that you tend to feel what the people around you feel? If your friend is sad, you might feel down too. If your partner is excited, you're likely to share in that joy. This phenomenon is known as emotional contagion, and it plays a huge role in the dynamics of any relationship. Research by psychologists has shown that we can catch emotions from others in much the same way we catch a cold. When we see someone smile, our brain mirrors that smile. It's a natural, subconscious response. This happens because our brains are equipped with something called mirror neurons, which allow us to feel what others feel. This phenomenon is especially significant in relationships. According to a study published in Psychological Science, couples who share similar emotions are more likely to have successful and happy relationships. This emotional mirroring creates a sense of unity and understanding, which leads to stronger emotional bonds. But how can we use this knowledge to improve our relationships? One way is by being aware of the emotional energy you bring into a room. If you're feeling stressed or upset, your partner or friends may mirror those emotions, leading to tension or miscommunication. On the flip side, if you bring positivity and calm, those around you will likely reflect that as well. Another strategy is to practice empathic reflection, where you intentionally mirror the emotions of others. This doesn't mean copying their words or behaviors, but rather showing that you understand how they feel. For example, if your partner is upset, instead of offering solutions right away, simply acknowledge their feelings with something like, "I can see that you're really frustrated right now." This helps create a space where both partners feel understood and validated. Studies show that when partners feel heard and mirrored emotionally, they are more likely to communicate openly and resolve conflicts more effectively. The mirror effect shows us that our emotions are deeply interconnected. By being mindful of how we express our feelings and how we respond to the emotions of others, we can create more harmonious and emotionally fulfilling relationships. Don't forget to subscribe for more insightful strategies on improving your relationships. Chapter 4: Love Languages: Unlocking the Secret to Stronger Connections. Have you ever felt like you're doing everything you can to show your love, but your partner still doesn't seem to feel it? The problem might not be that you're not loving enough. It might be that you're speaking a different love language. In his book, The 5 Love Languages, Dr. Gary Chapman explains that everyone has a preferred way of giving and receiving love. By understanding these different love languages, we can build deeper and more meaningful relationships. The 5 love languages are words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. Each person has a primary love language, and when you speak your partner's language, it creates a stronger emotional connection. For example, someone who values words of affirmation feels loved when they hear compliments or words of encouragement. For these people, saying, "I love you," or complimenting their efforts is the best way to show affection. On the other hand, someone whose primary language is acts of service would feel most appreciated when you help them with chores or take care of tasks that make their life easier. Interestingly, a 2017 study by Chapman found that couples who know each other's love languages are 60% more likely to report higher relationship satisfaction. So understanding your partner's love language isn't just a nice idea, it's a strategy for keeping the relationship strong. When you're in tune with your partner's love language, you can avoid misunderstandings. Imagine spending all your time buying gifts for someone whose love language is quality time. They may appreciate the thought, but what they truly crave is uninterrupted time with you. That's why asking your partner how they feel most loved is the first step to understanding their needs. Incorporating your partner's love language into your relationship doesn't have to be hard. Start by paying attention to how they express love to you. If they often say, "I love you," or praise you, they likely appreciate words of affirmation. If they enjoy spending hours together without distractions, they probably value quality time. Once you identify these signs, make a conscious effort to speak their language. It'll not only make them feel loved, but it will also deepen your connection. And, as a bonus, learning your own love language can help you understand your own needs and better communicate them in your relationship. Chapter 5. The Science of Vulnerability. Why opening up leads to stronger love. Vulnerability often gets a bad rap. Society teaches us that we should be strong, independent, and in control at all times. But when it comes to building lasting relationships, vulnerability is actually one of the most powerful tools you can use. According to Dr. Brené Brown, a researcher and expert on vulnerability, vulnerability is not winning or losing. It's having the courage to show up and be seen when we have no control over the outcome. Being vulnerable means opening up about your true thoughts, feelings, and fears. It's allowing yourself to be seen for who you truly are, flaws and all. And while that may sound intimidating, research shows that vulnerability is actually a key ingredient in creating deep, trusting relationships. A 2010 study by Dr. Brown found that people who embraced vulnerability in their relationships had stronger emotional connections. They were also more likely to experience feelings of love and belonging. Vulnerability creates trust, and trust is the foundation of any healthy relationship. But how do you start being more vulnerable? It's not about sharing every single detail of your life right away, but rather allowing yourself to be open and authentic. Start small by expressing how you truly feel. If you're upset, let your partner know. If you're grateful, say it out loud. It's the little moments of emotional honesty that build up over time. One powerful strategy for embracing vulnerability is to practice active listening. When your partner shares something personal, instead of offering advice right away, just listen. Show them you value their feelings and that you're there to support them. The key to vulnerability is not just in sharing, but also in being receptive to the vulnerability of others. Relationships are a two-way street, and when both partners are open and honest, it strengthens the bond and creates a deeper sense of emotional intimacy. In the end, vulnerability allows us to connect on a much deeper level. It makes us human and reminds us that we're not alone in our struggles. By embracing vulnerability, we create relationships that are real, lasting, and full of love. Remember to subscribe for more life-changing tips on building love and happiness in your relationships. Chapter 6. Building Happiness Together. The Social Psychology of Lasting Love. When it comes to love, we often think of the initial spark, the butterflies, and the excitement. But lasting happiness in a relationship isn't just about passion. It's about creating a partnership that is rooted in respect, shared values, and mutual support. So, how can you build a lasting relationship that fosters happiness? Research shows that couples who share similar core values and goals tend to have stronger, longer-lasting relationships. A 2016 study published in the Journal of Marriage and Family found that couples who shared values like family, financial stability, and communication were more likely to experience long-term happiness. This means that, beyond attraction, it's essential to align on the bigger picture of life. Another key factor is support. A healthy relationship thrives when both partners feel supported, whether emotionally, mentally, or physically. Studies suggest that couples who actively encourage each other's personal growth are happier. For instance, if one partner wants to pursue a new career or hobby, a supportive partner will cheer them on, not discourage them. This kind of encouragement strengthens the bond and creates a positive, growth-oriented dynamic. Also, gratitude plays a big role in fostering happiness. Dr. Robert Emmons, a leading expert on gratitude, says that couples who practice gratitude are happier and more satisfied in their relationships. Simple acts of appreciation, whether it's thanking your partner for doing the dishes or acknowledging their hard work, create a culture of kindness and respect. Lastly, don't underestimate the power of shared experiences. According to a 2018 study by Dr. Arthur Aaron, couples who engage in new and exciting activities together report stronger feelings of closeness. Whether it's traveling to a new place, trying a new hobby, or even just cooking a meal together, these experiences create lasting memories that strengthen the relationship. The happiest couples also know how to handle conflict. Instead of avoiding disagreements, they confront them with open communication and a willingness to understand each other's perspectives. Research shows that couples who focus on resolving conflicts rather than winning arguments are more likely to have happier relationships. Building happiness together isn't about waiting for a perfect moment. It's about creating a partnership where both people feel valued, supported, and understood. By focusing on shared values, supporting each other's dreams, practicing gratitude, and having fun together, you can create a relationship that thrives for years to come. Subscribe now to learn more about building a love that lasts a lifetime.